What's good, y'all? It's Xavier X3SS, and today I'm pretty much going to be talking about something that's a little different from what I usually cover. If you've watched any of my videos before this, then you'd know that the topics I cover are usually just internet drama. But today I'm going to be talking about gaming, and more specifically, how you feel when you play games nowadays. I noticed that when I play single player games now, I only really play it for about 2 to 3 hours before I get off. But when I was a little kid, I used to play games for 6 hours, 7 hours straight. And obviously, times are going to be different since you're a kid. You're not really having to go to work, having to go to school like that. You're just kind of chilling. But even as a kid, I would see, my uncles play the new Call of Duty, or they would play 2K or something. Or even my older brothers, who are older than me by a lot of years, they would still play games and enjoy it back then, like a lot. So it got me to thinking, why aren't games as enjoyable nowadays? I grew up playing games, and my entire family pretty much plays games. And that's why growing up with it and knowing how fun games can be, and then seeing what they're reduced to now, it's just kind of sad, to be honest. Like, games really are the foundation of my childhood. And even now, like, you see any of my videos, they all have gameplay footage. And they're all different games. Like, I play a lot of different games. And playing games throughout my entire life up till now, and seeing all the new games that dropped, the new DLCs, the new battle passes, and paywalls, and all this stuff, it really just shows me that most games have kind of just lost their path. They don't really feel like the games don't really feel like the creators put their entire heart, soul, dedication into making this world that everyone can just enjoy. We'll take Call of Duty for example. Call of Duty is probably one of the biggest games ever. Franchise wise, it is one of the most well recognized games in all of gaming history. And the way it became that loved and recognized is because of how realistic and gritty it was, because Call of Duty pretty much showed how war was, or at least how it felt like to the people, and what could happen in those types of situations. But now Call of Duty is reduced to like almost kind of like what Fortnite is, because Fortnite is just getting deals with everything they can, getting all the big name Marvel, Disney, all of that, Lego, and just incorporating it into their game to maintain, status. And it's the same thing with Call of Duty. They added battle passes, they got anime skins, they got all these weird, like, goofy ball, googly eye characters that are just running around the map now. Like, bro, you can play as goddamn Nicki Minaj, or you can play as fucking Snoop Dogg, and you're in a game that is simulating literal war and, like, warfare and shit. And that just shows that Call of Duty lost its identity. It's not the serious, gritty, war simulator it was before, but now it's kind of just like a shoot 'em up arcade game. And that's not really what the OG diehard COD fans wanted. They grew up on more, like I said, gritty warfare. And that brings me to my main point. Like I just said, a lot of these games are flopping and are not fun anymore because they lost their identity and they're just cash grabs. Just think about how many game franchises have already been ruined. Like, think about, let's say, Saints Row, for example. Didn't Saints Row just drop a game and it completely flopped and now the entire franchise is dead? Like, I'm pretty sure Saints Row is supposed to be a GTA knockoff, kinda, with just more comedy, but still have some serious aspects to it. Not anymore. The game is just completely now just fuck around sandbox, and it has no more real story with any sort of depth or anything to it. And that's just the majority of games nowadays, and that, in my opinion, is why gaming is not dead, but it's definitely been on a decline for a good amount of years. And I'm not saying that all gaming nowadays is bad. There are definitely some good games that came out, like, let's say, Elden Ring, for example. I've never personally played through it, but I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I doubt every YouTuber creator would say all these good things about the game if it was bad. And that's pretty much all I have to talk about today. I hope gaming has a rehaul, some sort of miracle happens. But until then, I'll see y'all later.